us to take a journey within us. So it is, let's face it, it is this internal journey that has allowed me to be here. If it was not of this journey, I wouldn't be with you today. My father is a guy who has never went to school, and my mother possesses only grade 7 education. My family depended on subsistence farming, so this was my routine. Each and every Friday, I would go to the lands to herd my father's cattle. And each and every school holidays, together with my other siblings, we would go to the lands where we're going to till the land for sorghum so that we can live on it. And just like other families that were located close to us, this was our livelihood. So we depended on this for food. So I did not see myself being a farmer. Each time I'm in the forest with my other fellow headmen, they were talking about their future. And all of them wanted to own big farms. They wanted to own a lot of cattle. I came from a different point of view. I wanted something more than that. Unfortunately, I did not have the leisure of the TV to see what other parts of the world were living. We were living in one single room together with my other siblings, my other 8 siblings. So you can imagine what kind of environment I grew up in. We didn't have television to at least find out how are other people living and what kind of success can be defined beyond what we were seeing. So I started to do something different. I started to read books. And when I was at the land taking care of my father's cattle, I would read those books under the shade when the cattle are grazing, because we are using the free range. And during the night, I would wait for the moon to go out, and then I can still continue reading my books. Between the cover of those books, that's where I found my passion. That's where I found what is called real success. That's why I discovered my purpose. I decided that I'm going to be a teacher. That's what I decided to be at a very early age. And I told my sister, I asked her, what is it that I need to do for me to be a teacher? She said, you need to be at the top of your class. And the only way you can do that is when you read each and every single day. So that's what I did. For the rest of my primary school, I was at the top, consistently 2% of the class. So when I completed my high school, something happened that changed my life completely. I knew this couple. So this couple, they were very loving towards each other. So when they finished the matric in the year 2004, they did not do very well to qualify for the university outright. So the guy decided that he's going to work for the construction company so that the lady can go to school to study nursing. So she studied nursing certificate, and after that, she continued to study the diploma. So by the time she went back home, the agreement was that she was going to take a loan so that the guy can continue, can go to school as well. But when he went back home, he realized that the guy has already been promoted. Now he was a site foreman in the construction company. So he said, continue with your degree, so that by the time you come back, you will qualify to take a bigger loan and you will qualify for bigger salary. So this is where things happen. The lady now started to see the guy as not educated enough for her. So she decided that she's not going to be with the guy. And she told her plainly that I'm not going to be with you. You are not my type. Unfortunately, by then, she was pregnant of that guy's child. So the guy tried to talk to her, but he was just fighting a losing battle. So ultimately, the guy decided to give up on the pursuit of this lady. So she completed her degree, and she gave back to the beautiful girl, and she went for the hospital, and she fell in love with the doctor. So that was the last straw that the guy said, no, she's really out of my league. So he called the families, the two families, his family and her family, and they sat down to decide what is going to happen. And he said, I am making peace with this lady that I've lost her. But there's only one thing that I'm requesting her to do. We should have a civil relationship so that, just for the sake of our child, that was agreed. And from there, the guy started to be nice to the lady, unsuspecting the lady also kind of came close to her. So it happened that he worked so hard at work, and he saved the money, big chunk of money, he saved it, and he wrote a will for the child. I mean, the money, all of it went to the child. So on the 30th December 2004, he went to the woman's place, and they enjoyed the festivities of the festive season, and later that night, he asked her to walk him out. And they stood just outside the compound. They were talking, everyone saw them giggling, looking like a happy couple. Now, those of you, 3 of you who come from Botswana will remember that during the festive season, as soon as it's 11 o'clock, the village is cleared. That is why Botswana probably is one of the safest countries. So the police cleared them, but the guy requested the lady just to walk about 50 meters away from where they were into the bush, and she agreed. So 12 o'clock, the guy did the unthinkable. He stabbed the lady to death. He did not do only that. He took out her heart, put it across her chest, and he dragged her under a nearby tree, where he hanged himself on the tree. Before doing that, he left a note and explaining each and every single thing. The country was engulfed in fear. The country was engulfed in great sadness. And I was no exception to that. But this is what I did differently. While everyone else was crying, was hurt, I asked myself, what could have been going on that guy's head for him to kill the person this brutally? And then I decided that this guy did not wake up to say, today I'm going to kill that day. This decision was not made that particular day. It's a decision that he made over a period of time. And its gathered power was revealed by the opportunity he got. Hence, he killed that lady on that particular time. Where am I getting with this story? I now decided that I can actually program my mind using the same way that he did it. But now this for a good cause. I set my sight on a particular end, and then work hard each and every single day, so that at the end of the day, when I reach that point, I will appreciate the process and the learning that I accumulated through this process. This is the known principle that is used by the successful people. They know that they do not wake up today and decide to be successful and be successful at that particular point in time. They woke up each and every single day to work hard. Just like a builder, he wakes up each and every single day, laying a brick, single brick, as perfectly as a brick can be laid, one after the other until a wall is constructed. So this is a principle that I used, and it has helped me, served me through and through until I got to the university. But then you must remember that I had told myself that I'm going to be a teacher. But when I got to the university, I decided to study science. Now, as a scientist by training and a motivational speaker by making, I spent my time collecting knowledge or collecting ideas from scientific investigations. I spent time absorbing mind psychology, the ideas from the mind psychology. I immersed myself in studying and understanding the belief system across the religious spectrum, just to study how can a man evolve from the limiting and defeating imperfections of impositions. To my surprise, I realized that as varied world as it sounds, these people, they've got some common themes that were emerging. And those common themes, they were pointing in one direction. And that direction is defined in the law of cause and effect. So what is the cause of these principles? I found that I read somewhere in the book that the book has a chapter called Proverbs. It says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. And so shall he remain until he changes the trajectory of his thoughts. I read somewhere where the chapter is Romans. They say, transform your mind, or transform your life by the renewal of your mind. I read somewhere where it says, everything is possible to he who believes. And then latest research from science, from neuroscience, from quantum physics, it tells us this. That thoughts are things. Thoughts are the physical occupants of the mental realm. And it doesn't even stop there. It tells us that it takes 21 days for a thought to form and 63 days for a habit to form. So what does that mean? It means that we can willingly supplant the thoughts that we do not want with those that we want. So you can deliberately program your mind for success. And this is what successful people do. So combining this knowledge from different factors, or from different sources, we will come up with something crystallized that you can work on, which can take you from point A to the point B. Now, coupled to that, how do you now supplant the bad thoughts with the good thoughts? There's this concept that is now gathering momentum called the conscious and the subconscious mind. You've got only one brain, but then functionally it's divided into two. There's conscious and the subconscious mind. The conscious one is the thinking part, and the subconscious one is the one that controls the habits. It's the one that helps you build your character. So if you want to supplant the bad thoughts, you have to hold that thought in a conscious mind for a particular period of time until it is impressed on your subconscious mind. And once it's in the subconscious mind, now it becomes a habit. It now feeds your character. So that's how you get rid of the bad habits. That's how you break those habits. But then there are forces that lie within a person that you need to access. The force of faith, the force of belief. You need to have faith in yourself first. You need to believe in your dreams, which you necessarily must have. And you must have one thing called purpose. Purpose gives you something that you stand for. If you haven't found something that you stand for, then it means you haven't started living. And you must be creative once you realize your thought. I remember this other time I was talking to my niece, and he told me that in his class there's this boy who rescued them one day. So they were playing football, and a thorn pricked on their ball and it went punch. So they needed a new one. So when the boy went to his place, his father was coming from Rustenburg, from the mines, and he told him that I need 100 pula. 100 pula is equivalent to 120 rands. And he said, why? Because there's something that the teacher said we need to buy. So after the father has given him 120, he probed to know what is that thing. He said we have to buy photosynthesis. So how do you buy a photosynthesis? Photosynthesis is just a process that makes the boy was creative enough to get the money out of his father. So you've got to be creative enough to diversify your gift. You've got to be creative enough to make sure that your purpose fits you. So once you have discovered your purpose, you have to make sure that there is no any other purposes on the side that disturb it. Because plan A is the one that should get all of your attention. Plan B and C disturb the efforts that need to be spent on plan A. So each and every single day, we wake up and thinking about what is it that I was called to do on earth. And then you work hard to achieve it. Yesterday I was listening to the anecdote of the scholar from the alumni, the guy from KZN who climbed him. Peter. I was listening to Peter's anecdote. What Peter did not understand, I heard him talking about luck. That's not luck. Once you do something the correct way, once you discover your purpose and you pursue it tenaciously, the world or the universe will connive in your favor. So Peter did not even do his undergrad, and then he was admitted for his MA. What is it that Peter did? Peter was reading each and every single day. Peter was preparing himself deliberately for that which he wanted. He was doing whatever that it takes. In the middle of the night, he would wake up and read. In the middle of the night, he would make probably some calls to clients, whoever was willing to support him, the lecturer he was talking about. And the universe had no choice but to give in to him. But I'm here. So I went to the notice boards of the UCT Medical Campus, and I found whoever whose name looks like Tswana. So there I found the number of the SRC, and I called them and said, I want anyone from Botswana. So they gave me the number of some guy, and I called him, and he was staying around the bush. He gave me accommodation for that particular day. And on Monday, I was talking to my supervisor, Professor Trevor Siwa, and said, I'm here, I don't have a place to stay. Can't you negotiate with the university? So he said, how are you going to pay them? I said, I don't know, but as long as I can be in the system, a plane will be hatched. So I got into the system, I got into the rest through his persistence. And then I did well in the first test. Did very well, we were 35. I did very well, probably in the top 3%. And so we were called to a sudden meeting, and we were told that DST, Department of Science and Technology, has injected some money into the project. So they're going to give a high-performing student to continue with the project. We wrote the second test, and I was the best. I was among the 5 best, and we were chosen to be supported through this funding. So if you understand your purpose and understand your goal, they are clearly defined where you can see them. There is no confusion. You work hard each and every single day. The universe will connive in your favor. Now, when it comes to Canon Collins, I applied when I was doing my honors, I was rejected. I applied for my master's, I was rejected. I applied in the second year of the master's, I was rejected again. I did not give up. On the 4th time, Vicky saw it somewhere in her heart to call me. And she interviewed me, and I made the final cut. I was talking to Steve this other time, and I asked her, I don't see a lot of UWC law students here. What's the problem? Then she's like, even in our university, we are pushed to apply. Because you apply to this funding, they reject you. Then I understand. I understood that there was a problem here. You need to persist. This is one thing that purpose can do for you. You'll be able to negotiate your way around the obstacles that are put before you. And it is designed purposefully to make sure that whoever reaches their target are the ones that are serious. So if you prove to be very serious, if you prove that you want it more than any other thing, your purpose is better than your current circumstances, better than the disappointments that you are going through, better than the stresses that you are going through, you are going to reach your target. It may not come during the time that you expect it to come, but it will come. I remember Martin Luther King said something. He said, I've been at the table at the top of the mountain, and as I cast my eyes down there, I could see the promised land. I may not reach the place with you, but I'm sure my people will reach it. Nelson Mandela, in his famous speech, he said, I am fighting black and white domination. This is an ideal I hope to live for, if needs be to die. He was incarcerated, he was done everything, and he reached that ideal. So why can't we do the same? So if you are going through some difficult times, the supervisors are giving you the runarounds. Persist, be tenacious, understand your purpose. Know that it has to be better than your the circumstance that you are going through. The universe will connive to your favor. Among us here is sitting a hero. He's a song hero, but I just want to sing his praises for just to drive a point home. This man grew up in Malawi, educated in Malawi, and he educated some scholars in Malawi. He taught English in Malawi. He was telling me this story just a few days ago. This man, he loved teaching English. That there was a point in time where the advert came from UK to say, we want an English teacher. UK, I mean United Kingdom, where Vicky and Stuart come from. So this man put an application, and he was interviewed among other white people. He was the only black person going to UK, taking a chance to go to UK to teach English people English. And guess what? He got it. A Malawian got it. It's Professor Mbadif here. So once I discovered these success principles, I decided that I'm going to be a teacher. My resolve to be a teacher has always been there, but then I'm going to be a different kind of a teacher. I'm not going to be a teacher who's going to be in this systematized system. I'm not going to be a teacher at school. I'm not going to be a lecturer where I'm going to be told you're coming in 8 o'clock and leave at 4 o'clock. Not that it's bad, but not for me. It wouldn't work. I want to be a teacher who can do what he wants, accessing, looking at the needs and being resilient enough to respond to the needs. And that is a motivational speaking. But realizing that I am a motivational speaker, I asked myself, what is going to set me apart from many other motivational speakers there? I realized that I need to understand what is that I want. I need to understand what is needed for you to be successful. And ultimately, I wanted to teach the man the principles of success. By so doing, I should be able to teach a man to understand himself. But I cannot bring a man to the knowledge of himself without teaching him the forces that exist within him. So these are the forces that I was talking about. Faith, believing in yourself, believing in your ideals, and working hard each and every single day. What is really happening in your mind for you to reach this kind of, what is really going on in your mind for you to reach a certain feat? How can you make or unmake yourself? Some guy was standing here saying that some things are learned and they can be unlearned. That is true. Because these things called thoughts are the ones that decide, are the ones that dictate what is it that you have to do, what is it that we are going to become. You can easily supplant those that you do not want by those that we want. How do you do that? I've already explained that science tells us exactly how. So these are the forces that I needed to understand from science perspective, from psychology perspective, from religious perspective, for me to set myself apart and say, I can teach you, Professor Mano, how to be the best researcher in your field. And I can shine in that space because during my time as a student, the professors abused me, so I can probably take this time to abuse you a bit. And here is one other problem. People shy away from failure. Let me tell you something about failure. Failure is a guidepost to success. Failure actually is the stamp that we have to stand on to reach better heights of success. So each and every single day when you make a mistake, when you apply and you do not get the post that you applied for, do not give up. Be tenacious, apply again. Allow yourself to be humiliated in order to be liberated. All the successful people that I know, they've failed many times before. Chrysler has failed 42 times before in the automobile, before he discovered or before he made the Chrysler motor vehicle. Thomas Edison failed more than 1,000. Actually, he has been told before that he cannot learn a thing. He was hired and he lost 2 jobs because he was not productive. Everybody wrote him off. But he persisted, he understood his purpose, and he worked so hard to reach it. And that was creating the light bulb that is providing its service for us today. And it was not only localized in England. We are now here in Africa benefiting from his work. Had he listened to them saying he cannot make it, those naysayers would have prevented him to reach his potential. They would have prevented him to live his true life, because I believe your potential is your identity. So ultimately, our lives are going to serve as an example or a warning. An example of the life well lived with the purpose clearly defined and perceived, where you can see each and every single day. Or they're going to serve as a warning for life that is mismanaged, the life that does not have direction. Thank you.